Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another What If video. In today's What If video, we will be doing part 1 of What If Amy was the ultimate life form, suggested to me by a fan, so I want to give a huge shout out to him. Thank you for suggesting this idea. He did end up suggesting it a while ago, and we are finally doing it. And also, quick update before we go ahead and get to this as well. I want to give an update to 2 what ifs that I haven't updated in quite a long time, well, more likely 3. What if Mecha Sonic was good? What if Tails was the main hero? And finally, what if Amy died in Sonic CD? Don't worry, future parts are coming. I have thumbnails ready for them, and I also have the plot ready for them as well. I do know what I'm doing. It's just they will take a while as well, as I've already promised a couple more what ifs beforehand, but they will eventually come, so don't worry, they are coming soon. Alongside this as well, make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if you're excited with this. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this what if. We open up as we see Dr. Joe Robotnik, as we see him in the middle of working on Project Shadow. At this point in time, Black Doom has already given him his DNA, and this Gerald has begun working on Project Shadow. However, it's in the early prototype stages. However, Gerald's having second thoughts because he feels like Project Shadow would be a mistake. As from what he can tell, it'll essentially be dark and brooding and essentially not lighthearted. And Gerald realizes that this could backfire in some way, as potentially Black Doom could manipulate Project Shadow and turn him into a villain. So instead, Gerald decided to add his own little detail in there. He ended up adding a little bit of essentially a pink quill he found a while ago. And thus, he decided to go ahead and add it. And thus, Project Shadow would be cancelled, and in its place would be Project Rose. And thus, Gerald will go ahead and begin working on Project Rose, which will go ahead and officially finish around the same time as Project Shadow. And right when Black Doom teleports to Gerald to see the progress on Project Shadow, he sees Project Rose. Now, initially, Doom is pissed off at Gerald with him saying,
"What is this? Did you forget about our deal, Gerald Robotnik?"
No. I just modified Project Shadow into something new. Project Rose.
Project Rose, you say?
Yes, I essentially modified your DNA to make it stronger. Alongside this as well, I plan on giving her this, as Gerald goes and shows Black Doom a hammer. This is a hammer filled with chaos energy alongside it as well. Alongside this as well, it could also potentially enhance her chaos abilities. Black Doom would contemplate on this after hearing what Gerald just told him, and he would end up smiling evilly with him saying,
"Very well, Gerald. You have my agreement, but remember our deal. In 50 years, Project Rose will have to find the 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to me so I can have my ritual of prosperity."
"It will be done, Black Doom."
Good.
Black Doom leaves and he heads back on the Black Comet and is heading off into the stars, waiting until he can finally return to Earth to reclaim the 7 Chaos Emeralds and to make the ritual of prosperity. Gerald, meanwhile, continues to work on Project Rose. He knows that the Black Arms are a big threat and that he needs to teach Amy Rose, as she is now called, to essentially defend the Earth from the Black Arms. And thus, one day, Project Rose is finished, and he unleashes it as both he and his granddaughter Maria greet Amy. Now, Amy's design here will essentially be the Boom design. Reason being is that while I do like her model design, in my honest opinion, I feel like Gerald would make something similar to her Boom design. So, she's going to have something similar as well. Though she will also have some similarities to Shadow and her modern counterpart. She will essentially be the size of her modern counterpart, and will essentially sound the same as her modern counterpart as well. However, she would have some quirks like Shadow does. She would have some similarities. Most notably, she would end up having some red in her hair, essentially because she still has a Black Doom DNA inside of her. Alongside this as well, she would also end up having essentially her Chaos Rings as well, which this time, rather than just being simple rings to wear for costume, it would essentially be to contain her Chaos energy. So that's essentially all of Amy's design that would change. Aside from that, majority of it would be the same. From the Boom universe is now put in the modern Sonic universe as her design, and she is now the daughter of Black Doom. Over time, Amy would go ahead and begin to learn more about her Chaos abilities, most notably Chaos Spear, Chaos Blast, and Chaos Control, as she masters it using the Green Chaos Emerald. Alongside this as well, Amy would go ahead and learn how to teleport and would learn how to take off her rings in order to max out her Chaos abilities. Alongside this as well, her hammer that Gerald ended up making for her would also have its own chaos ability, Chaos Destruction, which once hitting someone, it would essentially unleash a wave of energy similar to Black Doom's Swift Strike, since Gerald's able to modify it, though not 100% exact. It's more or less won't shoot as many orbs as Swift Strike, and it's not as powerful, though it can still deliver as deadly of a blow. Alongside this as well, Amy would go ahead and begin to grow closer with Maria, with the two of them seeing each other as sisters, with Maria essentially telling Amy all the time how she essentially wants to go to Earth, with Amy telling Maria that potentially one day they can go together and see it. Alongside this as well, Amy will be taught things by Gerald, as Gerald knows that the Black Arms are a big threat and that he needs to have Amy prepared. However, unfortunately for them, Gunn has found out that Gerald was in contact with the Black Arms, and thus they raid the Ark. The Ark's projects mostly get shut down, most notably the Eclipse Cannon, which was designed to stop the Black Comet. Alongside this as well, other projects such as the Biolizard, the prototype of the ultimate life form. Alongside this as well, majority of the Ark's researchers are captured. Meanwhile, Gerald, Amy, and Maria are running, with Amy holding Maria by the hand and trying to get to the escape pod as fast as she can, with her firing chaos spheres at the gun soldiers, alongside this using her hammer to use chaos destruction on them. However, they're still catching up, and eventually Gerald does unfortunately get caught, thus forcing Amy and Maria to be all on their own. They would eventually arrive at the escape pods. However, unfortunately for them, there's only one escape pod, and Maria would end up shutting Amy inside of it, shocking her. And Amy would end up telling Maria, "Maria, what are you doing? Come on, we have to get out of here." "I'm sorry, Amy. You have to go without me." "What? Please, no." "Amy, promise me that the people on that planet, you'll give them a chance to be happy. Give them a chance. Sayonara, Amy the Hedgehog." Amy would end up screaming no as she falls down to Earth with her crying, trying to bang out of the glass door to teleport back to get Maria. However, it's too late, and Maria also ends up getting shot as well by a gun soldier for letting Amy get away. And thus, Amy ends up falling down to Earth, and it's not too long before Gunn manages to find her and lock her away and seal her up on Prison Island. While that's happening as well, Gerald is also captured as well and goes insane once he finds out that Maria is dead. And thus, he manages to reprogram the Ark to essentially collide with Earth once all 7 Chaos Emeralds are planted into it. Alongside this as well, he also ends up reprogramming Amy slightly as well, giving her fake memories. So instead of giving the people of Earth a chance, instead, Amy is now reprogrammed to get revenge on humanity and Earth. And thus, Amy is sealed away inside Prison Island for 50 years. That is until Gerald's grandson, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, or Dr. Eggman, when finding out about Project Rose from his grandfather's diary, and thus he raids Prison Island. And eventually he manages to find where Amy Rose is and puts in his white Chaos Emerald. And thus, the pod where Amy was sealed is open, and Amy Rose ends up stepping out, with Eggman being confused with them, initially saying, "What? Sonic, is that you? Oh, you followed me, you little pest. Wait. You're not Sonic." Amy ends up introducing herself. "I'm Amy. Amy the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form created by Dr. Gerald Robotnik. Since you were so kind to release me, I will grant you one wish, my master." Eggman will look amazed at this. However, gun soldiers would end up entering with gun robots. Eggman pissed off and up saying, "Great. Bad timing as usual." However, Amy would end up stepping up with her saying, "Don't worry, I'll handle them." And she ends up grabbing the white Chaos Emerald, and she ends up saying, "Chaos Control!" And thus, Amy quickly used Chaos Control and managed to go ahead and easily take down the gun soldiers. Alongside this as well, she managed to grab her hammer and would use Chaos Destruction, throwing the majority of the gun soldiers back, knocked out, and badly injured. Eggman went up striking, saying, "Not bad, Amy. You really are the ultimate life form. My grandfather's greatest creation." Amy quickly realizes who this is that is saying, "So, you must be Ivo. I must admit, your grandfather always spoke so highly of you. It's an honor to finally meet you, Ivo." Everyone would smile at them, saying, yes, whatever. But look, I need your help to solve a certain pest problem." Sounds interesting. Please do tell." And thus, Eggman would end up telling Amy about Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and the replacement for Amy in this What If, Mighty and Ray. Now, I know this is not the first time I've done this, since I've done this in What If Amy Died in Sonic CD, though their roles will be different here. They won't be in Sonic CD per se, but they were involved in the events of 2, 3, Knuckles, Adventure 1, and Sonic Shuffle. So they were still involved in this What If, just not in the parts where Amy would be in the original timeline for What If Amy Died in Sonic CD. So essentially their roles will be different compared to What If Amy Died in CDs. So just a heads up. Amy went up listening carefully about this, with her being amazed by the Sonic, with her saying, My, sounds quite impressive. And cute. However, Amy went up cutting him and saying, Look, I can't have you flirting with the enemy, but the point of the matter is, I need your help. Amy went up smirking, saying, Very well, I will. In fact, meet me on the space colony arc. Bring a Chaos Emerald as well. Amy would then announce the words, Chaos Control! And this went up teleporting away. Amy went up smirking and saying, Oh my, how everything is now working out in my favor. Edwin will then go ahead and attempt to steal the Master Emerald from Knuckles, now essentially plays out the same. Meanwhile, we cut to Sonic as he's in the middle of breaking out of Gun's helicopter. As similar to Shadow in the original timeline, Amy has framed Sonic for committing a crime he didn't do, and this Gun went in blaming Sonic and thus when taking him. However, similar to the original timeline as well, Sonic managed to go ahead and break out, deal with Gun's robots alongside their tow truck, and managed to go ahead and easily beat down the final Gun robot. Sonic went up contemplating how he got here and why Gun thinks he did something bad. After all, he saved the world so many times, from the Death Egg, Perfect Chaos, to Horrible Heavies. However, his thoughts are interrupted as he sees a light, shocking Sonic as he ends up blinding him. And when Sonic looks up, he's shocked to see a pink hedgehog holding the green Chaos Emerald. Sonic looking amazed, saying, Wait, another hedgehog? Hold on a minute. You're the one who's been getting me in all this trouble with the military. Amy went up looking down and went up smirking. She fully knows who this is, with her saying, My, you must be Sonic the Hedgehog. It's an honor to finally meet you. I must say, you're even cuter in person than from the stories I've heard about you. Sonic annoyed him, saying, Yeah, whatever, look, what are you doing with that emerald? Amy would not end up replying, and Sonic, annoyed, went up running up to her with her saying, Say something, you fake hedgehog! However, Amy would simply throw up the emerald, catch it, and went up saying, Chaos Control! Amy would then end up slowing down time and up running past Sonic, shocking Sonic as Amy uses her rocket boots. Sonic would turn around and shock her with him saying, Whoa, she's fast. No, hold on a minute. It's the Chaos Emerald. She's slowing down time. Amy would then introduce herself with her saying, I'm Amy the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form. There's no time for games. Farewell, cutie. And thus, Amy would have teleporting away, shocking Sonic with saying, What? Amy? And what's with the flirting? However, before Sonic can question more, he's surrounded by gun soldiers with him saying, Ugh, not again. And the Sonic is taken away as Amy ends up watching, and she gets flashbacks to Maria, with Maria telling Amy to avenge her. Amy went up saying, You will be avenged, Maria. And no one is going to stop me. Not even a hedgehog that's cute. Amy went up smirking, and she went up teleporting to the Ark. Meanwhile, because of Dr. Eggman, as he arrives at the Ark, Amy is waiting for him, and she's already put in 2 Chaos Emeralds, and she just added the green emerald. Amy then goes on to detail, explaining what the Eclipse Cannon is, the Ark's most powerful weapon. And Eggman would have looking amazed by this, and ended up saying, Is this my grandfather's legacy? Amy would then go on further detail, explaining how the Eclipse Cannon, once it has all 7 Chaos Emeralds, it's essentially unstoppable, with enough power to blow up a planet. Eggman ends up laughing even with them saying, My, I like the way you think, Amy. You really are going to be a great addition to my empire. However, the two of them are interrupted with someone saying, Do you really think it's going to be that easy? And Rouge the Bat descends. Amy immediately pulls out her hammer and ends up saying, Who are you? And she introduces herself with her saying, My name's Rouge the Bat, and I'm coming to help. And not only that, I'm a treasure hunter. And I've decided to offer my assistance. Everyone would initially say, How can we trust you? And even then, what's in it for us? Rouge then revealing the blue Chaos Emerald with her saying, I could offer you this. Eggman would end up looking to Amy, who nods her head. Eggman would end up saying, Alright, very well. Amy would go ahead and put the Chaos Emerald in. At this point in time, they have 3 Chaos Emeralds. They just need 4 more. Rouge managed to locate where the other Chaos Emeralds are on Prison Island, 3 of them. And thus the group ended up heading down to Prison Island. Meanwhile, we cut to Tails, Mighty, and Ray as they're heading over to Prison Island, with Tails telling the two, Y'all two ready? Yeah, but something seems off. Sonic wouldn't do stuff like breaking into banks and stealing Chaos Emeralds. That doesn't sound like Sonic. Yeah, it doesn't. It has to be someone else. I know, but he gets to the bottom of this. And thus the three of them manage to go ahead and quickly arrive on Prison Island, while Eggman goes over the details with both Amy and Rouge, which is essentially the same plan, except this time Amy is taking Shadow's role, and thus splitting up, while Eggman ends up bumping into both Tails, Mighty, and Ray, with him saying, "Great, you three. I don't have the time right now." And thus Eggman prepares for a fight. Tails ends up turning to Mighty with him saying, "Mighty, head off to go rescue Sonic. Me and Ray will fend off Eggman." "Got it." And thus Mighty ends up heading off, while both Tails and Ray prepare to fight Eggman, and thus the battle begins with them. Meanwhile, Rouge sneaks around gun bases and manages to go ahead and find the Chaos Emerald, though she's trapped, being forced to fight a couple of robots. While that's happening as well, Amy manages to go ahead and plant the dynamite. And while that's happening as well, Mighty manages to go ahead and break out Sonic, with Sonic essentially filling him in on Amy. Mighty ended up listening closely with him saying, "So she framed you?" "Yeah, and for whatever reason she's flirting with me." Mighty ended up smirking and saying, "Perhaps she's got a crush on you." "Yep, whatever. Besides, I don't have time for women. I'm too busy going on adventures, having fun." You never know. And both Sonic and Mighty quickly go ahead and head off, and would manage to go ahead through Prison Island. However, eventually they will run through Amy as she heads back to go get Rouge, and Sonic would end up saying with them saying, "Amy, I want answers. Why are you here and what are you up to?" Amy would end up smirking at her saying, "You'll find out soon, handsome," and would go in for a homing attack on Sonic, who managed to homing attack back as Mighty attempts to spin dash onto her. However, Amy ends up pulling out her hammer and hits Mighty in the face, followed up by Chaos Destruction, sending Mighty flying back through a couple of trees. Sonic, pissed off, with spin dashing Amy. Amy, however, quickly get back up with her saying, My, quite impressive." Sonic annoyed them saying, "Yeah, whatever, take this." And then Sonic would take going for spin dash. However, Amy would easily teleport out of the way. Alongside this as well, she would end up throwing a couple Chaos Bursts at Sonic, forcing him to dodge. Alongside this as well, Mighty would manage to come back in the fight and would hit Amy in the face. Amy, shocked by this, would saying, "How dare you?" And thus would end up hitting Mighty back with her hammer, followed up by Chaos Destruction, throwing Mighty back down to the ground as well, while also partially hitting Sonic. However, Sonic and Mighty managed to get back up, only for Amy to use a Chaos Blast, sending the two flying back onto the ground. Amy would teleport right in front of them with her saying, "Perhaps you're not as impressive after all." However, Sonic would quickly spin dashing into Amy, followed up by Mighty doing homing attack of his own. Amy now regaining composure and saying, "Never mind, still just as impressive." And thus, Amy would simply go in for another Chaos Spheres. However, both Sonic and Mighty would manage to dodge the attacks. While at the same time as well, Tails and Ray managed to beat Eggman. However, Eggman realized that the dynamite's going to go off soon, and before both Rouge and Amy to get off the island. And thus, both Sonic and Mighty would have realizing this, with Sonic saying, "Blows up." However, Amy realizing that what they heard with him saying, "Yeah, about that," and Amy quickly distracted him with Chaos Spheres, allowing her to get away to go back to get Rouge, while Sonic and Mighty managed to find both Tails and Ray, and thus the two of them managed to go ahead and get away with the other two. While that's happening as well, Amy managed to go ahead and Chaos Control out of there with Rouge in tow, and they would manage to meet up with Eggman back on the Ark. Meanwhile, we cut to Amy back on the Ark, as she's reliving memories with Maria, thinking about her and the memories she had with her saying, "You will be avenged, Maria. The world will pay for what they did to you. They will pay." However, Region of coming in, with her essentially having a similar conversation that she did with Shadow in the original timeline, with her mentioning Amy how it seems someone like her to save her. However, Amy ends up simply ignoring Rouge, as Amy ends up walking in. Amy essentially tells them that we need to come up with the next move. However, Amy ended up cutting in with her saying, "Doctor, if you don't mind, might I suggest a way to show the power we have?" Eggman confused him, saying, "What do you mean?" "Well, we have 6 Chaos Emeralds, don't we?" "Yes, and?" "Well, although it's not powerful enough to blow up a planet, it should be more than enough to probably blow up half, and more than likely, more than enough to blow up," as she points to the moon, "half of that and get our message across." Eggman would smile, and he quickly realizes what she's suggesting with him, saying, Oh, I like the way you think." And thus Eggman heads off to go prepare his announcement and preparing the Eclipse Cannon as well, while Amy and Rouge await as well to see what happens. Meanwhile, we cut to Sonic, Tails, Mighty, and Ray as they meet up with Knuckles is essentially explaining what happened to the Master Ceremony and why he's out here. However, the 5 of them will be distracted by a broadcast that's being broadcast in the entire world, as with everyone else as well. "People of Earth, lend me your ears. I am Dr. Eggman, the world's greatest scientific genius, and soon to be the world's greatest ruler. Eggman's announcement is going all over the world, with people like the President and Gunn watching it. Eggman would continue. Look to the stars and see the beginning of the glorious empire, the best empire in the world. Everyone ended up looking at the stars, and they ended up seeing the eclipse cannon with Eggman saying, I am currently inside my eclipse cannon, and I think it's best if I show you an example of what I have. Most of it will be thanks to the research of my grandfather, Dr. J. Robotnik. I have no one to thank but him and his greatest invention, the ultimate life form. From there, Eggman reveals the eclipse cannon, and similar to the original timeline, it blows up half the moon, much to the planet's horror, as this shows that Dr. Eggman is not screwing around, and this time he means business. Eggman will then continue. As you see, with 6 Chaos Emeralds, we have enough power to blow up half a planet. Imagine what would be possible with all 7 of them. Eggman will laugh as people scream and stare in horror. Alongside this, Sonic, Tails, Mighty, Ray, and Knuckles stand there shocked as well, with Sonic saying, How? You heard him. He has 6 of the emeralds. But if that was 6 emeralds, then would that mean that 7 would be enough to blow up an entire planet? The 5 end up contemplating this as Eggman continues. I know Earth's rulers are watching this, and I suggest you listen up. You have 24 hours to surrender to the Eggman Empire, and if you don't, well, look at the moon as an example of what will become, but far, far more destructive. The broadcast ends as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Mighty, and Ray stand there horrified. Ray went up asking, what do we do next? We gotta get to the Ark, you heard him. But how? I think I might know a way. Really, Knuckles? Yeah. I know how to get up that Ark. But we're gonna need a spaceship. Lucky for us, I know where spaceship's at. And the 5 of them end up heading off to the desert, and they arrive at the pyramid base, when Knuckles explaining how he knows the rocket's inside there. And thus, they all make a plan as they prepare to head to the Ark. Meanwhile, Eggman ends up heading down to the pyramid base, while Amy and Rouge end up staying on the Ark, but they laughing with himself, saying, everything's coming together. And that's where we're going to end part 1 of What If Amy Rose Was the Ultimate Life Form. So, what did you guys think? Did you expect Amy's Pico Pico Hammer to essentially have a chaos ability of its own? Or did you expect Amy to essentially act like Black Cat, similar to how in the Spider-Man franchise, Black Cat and Spider-Man's dynamic, which essentially could be something similar here, with Amy and Sonic's dynamic in this version? Or did you expect Mighty and Ray to take Amy's rose in this timeline? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought of this. A huge shout out to the fan that suggested me to this, and I'll see you all in the next one.